Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Spontaneity. I'm Spontaneous One.
And I'm an ingenuity person.
So, as you read, if you did read, you know what? Either way, uh, I've created a structure in D&D. I don't know if it's any of the other source material or any of the side material, but it's what's worked for me. It's the guillotine, but in D&D, or guillotine.
Guillotine.
I made it an uncommon structure. There might be like one per medium or large town. It's not really going to be used for day-to-day purposes. Well, I hope not. But it can be used by players or the royal, the noble, the people who have a lot of power within a certain area, which would be like a city or village or kingdom. Like start us off?
You don't, I mean...
Alright. Either way. So it's going to be a large structure consisting of a, what a regular one looks like. It's going to be either 12 to 16 foot tall. And to put someone inside the device, you have to either have grappled them and scored a 20 or higher. So you can have the person grappled, but you need to have a roll of 20 or higher to put them inside of it.
You have to have at least two people to help with doing that.
Unless they're unconscious, and then you can put them in there while unconscious, but it still takes two people. So then they can be set in there. Or if you're one size larger than the person you're putting inside of there, you can put someone unconscious in there if you're a size larger. Then we're trying to remember the material. It's been a little bit.
We could do the damage output.
So when the rope is released, and the blade comes down, it will do 20d6 damage. Now, that does have a maximum of 120 damage, so there are certain players, characters, especially in higher levels, that might survive this. Now, some might say, like in historical stuff, that never happened. There have been people who lived from a guillotine slice. I know, it's horrifying. Their neck weren't all the way cut through, so then they ended up living for a little bit. And I'm having this kind of where someone who's adventures like level 5 or higher are better than the common people. So
I would say at something like this, you have a level cap. Like if you're level 10 and below, it's an instant death. But if you're level 10 or whatever, maybe Constitution, Strength, or something.
And it all depends on the DM. We're not making these as, they're hard. We're not building it as D&D itself. These are just ideas and concepts we've had, we've maybe or may have not used, and we think are interesting that you guys might like. Also, it'll take 10 minutes to reset the guillotine. So it's 10 minutes to put it up, make sure everything's fine, remove the head from the little basket. And it takes 10 minutes to also sharpen the guillotine, which you probably want to do before resetting it. And we did have a penalty for if it wasn't sharpened. It'll lose 2d6 per use. And this also kind of goes back into the historical of if you use a guillotine a bunch of times without it being sharpened, bones will actually leave chips within the metal, so then it won't cut all the way through, which also means it's weaker, worse, whatever.
And in something like that, you could say, for a more experienced DM, if you have a higher level party and they're actually getting to that Constitution thing, that's something where you could give them a little relief and lower the Constitution. So say, normally the AC for it is
20.
They haven't done their job as executioners, so you drop it a point for each time it has been used.
And then a fun story element could be that the king or the lord of the area decided, I want 20 people killed through the guillotine within the next hour. Okay, if it takes 10 minutes to set up, that leaves no time to sharpen it and to fix the blade. So if your party member is number 6, if we go based off damage, it just lost
18 dice.
Yeah.
No, 12 dice, my apologies.
Well, no, he's the 6, so 5 have already happened. So 10d6 have been lost. Well, 10d6 damage, maximum of 60, you're starting into where level 7 or higher people can just straight up live on max damage. And also, off of a random chance, if you just all roll ones, a lower level party member could still survive from this. But most common people only have an HP pool of like 10 or 12 or 13. Lower numbers where even if it's slightly used or damaged, it will insta-kill them. So that's kind of why the concept of this is here, because yes, you could say, oh, it's an insta-kill no matter what, but if you want to bring historical into this and then just kind of some fun flavor elements, it works better.
Another thing for like a DM, a little kind of an interesting thing, if like a person, you could play it one of 2 ways. Well, or multiple.
However you want to do it.
If you say like a person nat 20 is a Constitution save, you could say that if the guillotine has been constantly used, that the guillotine got caught up on like brains and stuff of the machine or whatever, or the person's neck bone was just really strong.
What was that? Alright. There's also could be if it's constantly used, and this is something that I prefer, if the damage output ever reaches 0, that the blade shatters. You could also do it if someone at 20's on the Constitution or something weird like that, that the blade shatters or breaks in some fashion and that it can't be used anymore and it has to be rebuilt. I also made a setup time because if you have all the components to it and this is going to sound like bad wording, but want to be that DM, the one that wants to go through every minute of setup, I made it where it's a 20-minute setup, and then also if your blade breaks, it's 10 minutes to fix the guillotine, where you have to replace the blade and then put it up.
I would. I don't know. You could possibly put that up a little higher as the blade did break. You're gonna have to take that off. Could you think they could actually sharpen it on the thing?
I think so. And this is where we're not experts in guillotines. We have never taken someone's head off with a giant piece of metal.
Thankfully.
Have you?
No.
Okay. I haven't either. And this is also storyline aspect. We're trying to make it as much fun and fair as possible. That's where most of our ideas come from, is fun and fair. Something that neither side, the DM or the player, should get upset about. And that's kind of our goal with the D&D videos.
Also, if you're a player and you get caught in a position where you are in a guillotine,
don't blame us.
Yeah. That's probably on yourself. If you're being a murder hobo, don't be a murder hobo next.
Creating war crimes, doing war crimes.
Just don't do that. Unless that's what you're doing, then do that.
Then, if that's the campaign or what your character is, there's a level of being true to your character and a level of being a jerk. Be true to yourself, be true to your character. Don't have your character do things that they would never do, but at the same time understand that if you go around slaughtering villages, karma kicks you right in between the legs. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. We haven't collabed in a D&D video yet, have we?
Nope, this is the first one.
And these are some interesting ideas. Take them with a grain of salt. If you enjoy them, use them. Or if you are just a player, mention them DM. Like, hey, I think a guillotine would be cool in this game. Or could we construct one? And just see where it goes. It never hurts to ask a question. It can always hurt to not.
It also, this could be a pretty cool magical item too. If you were to cast an enchantment on it. And
I had one thought. And I didn't write this down. We have a piece of paper that had all the information. We don't really, and I hadn't run this by you yet, but I've thought about it for a little bit. You could have a rare version of this be a pocket guillotine where, it sounds weird. Where you carry it around and then you set it down and it takes a 5-minute ritual and then it enlarges. No attunement cost, no nothing of that sort. It'd be classified as a magical item, but it won't do magic damage. We are doing like the 20d6 damage as slashing damage. So you can play with it how you want to. You could also do 20d6 force damage, theoretically, because of it falling down.
Also, at a certain point, if the blade's dull enough, you can have it bludgeoning.
Mm-hmm. And that's all up to DM's discretion, how you guys want to flavor it. D&D is just people putting their ideas and flavors into a story. Yeah. So I hope you guys have enjoyed. Hope you learned something.
Hope you got something out of it.
Yep. And if you never think about this video again, our hearts aren't broken. You watched it at least once and thought about it.
And if you're this far, we're very impressed.
Leave a like. No. We don't do that here. Liking is just a way to show you that you think about us. We don't want to be the people who say, like, subscribe, comment, share. Is there any other things you can do? Don't dislike. No. There's so many, but you can save these?
I think you can save videos now.
Put into a what are they called?
Put it on your TikTok.
Yeah, your Tic Tac. Have a wonderful day, guys.
I'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye.